And now, your official TigerBait live show with Mike Scarborough and Buddy Songy starts now.
All right, everybody, welcome in. Big TigerBait live show tonight. We're going to keep an eye on, of course, the LSU men's basketball team hosting #1 Auburn in the PMAC. That one's tipping off about right now, and we'll give you updates throughout that one. I have a feeling Matt McMahon's team might hold tough for a while, but we'll see how that pans out for the Tigers. Had to get the shows in tonight. I'm double duty tonight. I'm doing this show with Buddy. I'm going to have about a 30-minute break, and then at 7:30, Emily Ward and I are going to do Inside LSU Women's Basketball, our inaugural show. So 2 shows tonight right here on LSU Tigers on TigerBait YouTube channel. Welcome in, buddy.
Good to see you, Mike Scarborough. Listen, folks, we normally do not go up against LSU baseball, basketball, football live, but tonight, extenuating circumstances, we wanted to get the show in. You can always look at it on the replay at your convenience. Great thing about YouTube. Good to see you. Can you believe it? 8 days ago, we were in the midst of historical snow, which accumulated.
And it's 72 degrees outside. And you're wearing a dry fit golf shirt.
Yeah.
That's Louisiana.
A Southern Marsh shirt that everybody loves that brand. But lo and behold, a lot of exciting things. #1 in the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. Had John Brady on today. We'll talk a little bit about that. Tomorrow night, white out. Sell that puppy out. Show up. It's going to be an electric atmosphere. I'm going to predict right now, best crowd of the year. And then on Friday night, the gymnastics, Jay Clark and the Lady Tigers hosting #9 Missouri. Then back Saturday, LSU hosting the Longhorns. Dr. Butler. Dr. Butler.
Mm-hmm.
I like Texas in that game on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then once again, Kim Mulkey and the Lady Tigers back 1 o'clock hosting Mississippi State. 5 consecutive games and nights.
That's why we got to get it in. Of course,
Yeah.
Preston does his show earlier in the week, and I've been trying to film Caroline Bradley from Oak Grove since last year. And last night in Faraday was the opportunity where Oak Grove was the furthest south, and Kim Mulkey and her staff were just like me. They saw that as the golden opportunity because Oak Grove is 90 minutes north of Monroe. Who would believe that you could drive another 90 minutes north of Monroe and still be in the state of Louisiana? But you can, and that's where Oak Grove's at. So they traveled down to Faraday, and she got Coach Starkey to fill in her at TJ Ribs last night, and her and Kaylin Rice and Johnny Derrick met up with them. We're there in the stands to watch Caroline Bradley. That was loaded up on our YouTube channel a couple of hours ago. Check out that highlight film. You're talking about a 6'5" inside post player, 5-star for the class of 2027. She just turned 16 years old, and when you see her, you can see she's going to be hard to deal with in a couple of years as she matures and gets bigger and stronger in the weight room. Of course, her dad was a great tight end for Louisiana Tech, signed with LSU in the early 90s, right? And I
think he played 1 year and transferred or 2 years and transferred. I can't remember.
Yep. And he had a great career at Louisiana Tech. Her older brother is a quarterback for Oak Grove, just signed with Louisiana Tech. In fact, the boys team played the Faraday boys team right after the girls did. So got to see her brother on the hardwood. So, but anyways, check that out on the show. So that's why we were booked last night, so we couldn't do it. And we're here tonight to get it in because the women tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. I like
Just to give you a little tidbit, LSU with a quick early lead over Auburn. We talked about this with Coach JB. Got to start quick tonight. Got to get the fans involved. This has been so sad for Matt McMahon the last 2 or 3 years. Every time they've had a big game and a big crowd, they lay an egg. Now, a buddy of mine said, let me tell you what, if LSU beats Auburn tonight, it's going to snow and accumulate 8 inches. I said, again?
Well, if they win tonight, we're gonna be apologizing for going live against them.
Well, no, it might be the good luck charm.
Maybe it is
the good luck charm. But here's what Coach Brady and I discussed. it's not going to be the first half. It doesn't matter if you win the first half and lead by 10. You've got to finish this game. And I watched Auburn. This is why they're number one in the country. They are balls to the wall and so clutch. Stole one from Tennessee this past weekend. So, look, enjoy this early lead, but we'll chronicle and multitask and give you updates as we do the show tonight.
6-4 LSU right now, 15:55 mark in that one. And, yeah. All right. Let's dive right into it. Fire 3449. Hey, everyone, please hit the like button. He also asked if I had a chance to scout Hester's son yet. No, I have not. But I'm going to be out and about, obviously, in the spring, and camp season's on the way. Big junior day weekend this weekend. So a lot of recruiting stuff going on. I'm going to be loading the site up with all that tomorrow. Big Stack Kelly, what's up, TigerBait? BFS BK is making great hires and putting pressure on the staff to get it done. Look, we heard a couple of weeks ago he let loose Jacoby Stevens and Nick Brissett and others, and now Lance Guidry and Atkins. Atkins, who I'd talked about back in November. And of course, that was
the scoop you had.
Yeah, I had the scoop because the word I had gotten was back in November. He reached out to a coaching friend of mine and asked where was a good place to live.
Yeah.
And so
and of course that invariably led to the signing of Solomon Thomas, who is a big 5-star interior player. But
that little tidbit there also led to some conjecture. Is something going on with Brad Davis? Is something,
Yeah.
But that, of course, that gets you Solomon Thomas, one of the real gems in the 25 recruiting class.
Lance Guidry coming in as an analyst. He's an excellent defensive coach. Very good with the safeties and the DBs. Him and Corey will help Jake. Got to get better safety play. Let's just get right to it for 2025. Got to cover on the perimeter better. Got to be more physical and jam. You can't let a Jeremiah Smith, an Ohio State caliber wide receiver, with a free release. You've got to jam them and play physical, play bump and run, play cover. And then, of course, excited with all those new guys coming in to put pressure from the edge. So, look, you can say I'm gullible, I'm a guinea pig or whatever, but I'll be damn disappointed if LSU doesn't play defense in 2025 appreciably different and certainly much more successful.
Jerry Zimmern, all this portal and coaching hire buzz aside, what's realistic expectations 10-2? We talk.
That's his cup of tea.
Yeah, Buddy does that to me every time. In fact, we did that on his show earlier this afternoon. Man, let me tell you something. They go 10-2, and look, I'm high on this LSU team. They're going to be a lot better than I thought they were going to be at the end of November. But man, to go 10-2 with that schedule and where all you have to win on the road, I mean, the first one is going to be tough. I mean, Clemson's probably going to be favored, don't you think?
Oh yeah, Clemson right now, early 2.5-point favorite. Their quarterback is coming back. Nussmeier's quarterback's coming back. Both of those quarterbacks are already being mentioned at the top ledge of the Heisman in 2025. And what I love about this, and, there's a lot of controversy. Why don't you go week 0 and put a cupcake up? Why are you playing these tough non-conference games? Why are you doing neutral sites? I don't mind the home and home. I want to see LSU interact with Clemson at their Death Valley. And then the following year, let's hope that game, because they changed the craziness of the CFP, that game doesn't get scratched like some of the others did earlier. Like Texas never had that, and Arizona State and all those other teams. But want to see what it's like for their fan base to come to this Death Valley. But August 30th, it's a Saturday, and I'm predicting a Saturday night on ABC with Fowler, Herb Street, and Holly Rowe.
Adrian Bailey, Laugh at Mike, hanging out in my home. You're from Fairday, Adrian? I'm going to be honest with you, man. I know it's a shocker. There was a few times where I saw Fairday. Who was the great defensive player for LSU men's basketball? Sean Griggs?
Yeah.
He was from Fairday, wasn't he?
I mean, I just know that he jumped out of the gym.
He was a great defensive player.
No doubt.
But I'm pretty sure he was from Fairday. But I enjoyed that drive. That's not a bad drive, heading up through Mississippi. Of course, I was obeying all the speed limits. I didn't want to get a ticket, but that's a nice drive. 2 hours and 10 minutes. It is easy.
I'm sorry, I'm watching this game, folks. We're multitasking. 9-7 LSU. Mike, this is the key here. Gotta win this first 5 minutes. Didn't want to go to that first TV time down by 5 or 6. Got to keep the crowd in it. But yeah, Sean Griggs, man, he could jump out of the gym.
Big Stack Kelly. Mike isn't going. Yeah, I am. I'm higher than 7-5. I'm 9-3, which to me, I think that's going to be a really, really good LSU football team. And I do think Garrett Nussmeier is a Heisman candidate. Dude, you just got, the world is yours if you win the first one somehow.
Yeah. And, folks, I want to see what they look like in spring ball. Oh, by the way, we are, believe it or not, about 5 weeks away from the start of spring football. If you missed it a couple days ago, April 12th, put it on your calendar for the spring game. Now, normally spring games, you don't know and you don't see a lot. It's all vanilla ice cream, right? But man, it's going to be nice to be able to talk about in our practice reports all of these new tight ends, all of these new edge rushers, who's covering on the corner. Are you going to have adequate safety help? Which Bo Davis got to work with inside with all the big beef they're bringing in? How good are the linebackers going to be? Where's Harold Perkins going to fit? All of those questions just off the top, we will dive into.
Yeah, we're 6 weeks away.
And then the offensive line, which was a disappointment, can it be a surprise this year?
Spring practice will start probably sometime second week of March. So, man, we're 6 weeks away.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And we're already getting into that mode. Buddy just rattled off everything we've got the next few days. And we got LSU baseball media opportunities again on Friday. We're getting into that crazy spring realm where it's something every day. And sometimes 2 and 3 sports going on the same day.
By the way, LSU starts this year on the afternoon of Valentine's Day, 2 o'clock. Purdue, Fort Wayne. I've never heard of them before, but I think that was a game they had to fit in there because somebody canceled on Jay with the schedule. But they are loaded. We'll start to talk more. A bunch of arms, only 4 lefties, but I'm telling you, this is going to be a really fun team to watch. And if you're taking a chance, go. I'm going to say it right now. Book Omaha. I think they're. I don't want to say a lock, but I just, unless they have a lot of injury problems, I think they're going to have this team with what they need to get to Omaha this year.
It'll be real interesting, depending on which poll you want to look at. D1, Baseball America, either 2 or 3 in the country. And I tend to lean on Kendall Rogers and that group over at D1 Baseball, have LSU third behind A&M in Virginia. But, yeah, Mike, what did you think of Trey Green's block shot in left hand? That was awesome. And then he kind of disappeared in the game. But that just shows you how athletic he is.
But John Brady told us today that was a great thing having a coach on. He says, buddy, I watched this guy in warm-ups. He has got a sweet left-handed jump shot. So look for that coming up. You're going to see his lefty. I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Jordy Holberg, who was a great shooter, but he's a 6'7" kid that's very athletic. And I love that Stufferino now, Saturday.
When you I ISO'd him every time he was in the game, the rest of the game, and he would stand in the corner, and they'd be rotating the ball, and it's either he was looking for an alley-oop or he was looking to crash the boards on a missed shot. But look, he's a heck of an athlete. It's
now here's the question though. Okay, what's going to happen when
14-9 LSU right now?
Yeah. What's the deal going to be when spring football starts? Is he going to finish basketball? There's going to be a little bit of an overlap there. Of course, how far is LSU going to go in March? But interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Do me a favor. If you're enjoying the show, please hit that like button. And we're going to be here, of course, till right at 7 o'clock. But do hit that like button. It helps us with the algorithm, and hit that share button as well. Share the show out on your Facebook wall, text it out to your fellow LSU fans, and let them know we're live. And again, 2 shows tonight on our YouTube channel right here. So, but let's hear from Mike and Alex over at Pride.
Hi, I'm Michael with Pride Roofing.
I'm Little Alex.
Have you been affected by wind, hail, and tornadoes on the North Shore? Well, we're here to help.
Insurance claim, no problem.
We also have a new franchise location in New Orleans.
We don't build projects, we build memories.
Though you know Pride Roofing is the official roofer of TigerBait.com.
In fact, notify TigerBait and we'll give you a free roof inspection. And on top of that, you get a free year subscription. Remember to call us at 855-PRIDE-16.
Mr. Three-Pointer.
There you go, 855-PRIDE-16. Give them a call. Got one more referral day. I've got to get a free TigerBait subscription. Now I've got one from earlier in the month or the end of December that I've got to follow up with as well. We got multiple of them that people are still jumping on that. And so give Pride a call, 855-PRIDE-16. When you say TigerBait, along with your free roof inspection, they're going to pay for you to have TigerBait Premium free for a year. You don't have to buy anything. You're going to get a free roof inspection and free TigerBait for a year just for saying TigerBait when you call Pride Roofing. Of course, big new location right here in Baton Rouge, based in Hammond. Mike Faraday, a LSU grad, and known him my entire life. Fine people. New Orleans, Homa, the North Shore, they've got you covered for all your roofing needs, commercial or residential, metal roofs, and the whole shebang.
Hey, they are not going to be on TV every 30 minutes with some silly-ass roofing commercial, but they are serious about what they do. Take great pride in giving back to the community. We'll give you every opportunity to ask any question, work with your adjuster, the whole 9 yards, folks. Once again, 1-855-PRIDE-16. Make sure you tell them Mike and Buddy sent you over. Pride Roofing. You will take great pride if you let them work, because all of the people, Don, PFM, Barry, many others, have had much success doing business with Mike Faraday and Alex Martinez.
Got a brand new attitude, like bing bang boom on a pink balloon, like I just do what I want to do, like ooh, brand new.
There you go, Genesis of Lafayette. Give them a call. Tell them you heard about them on TigerBait.com. I got people calling me Genesis Mike around town, and I know several of you have gone to Genesis of Lafayette and bought vehicles. Again, go over there, test drive the GV70, the GV80. You'll absolutely love those SUVs. Two of the most popular SUVs being sold in the United States right now, and lead every category of quality. And believe me, the interiors of those two vehicles is second to none. They go absolutely up against their German competitors. Right there on Johnson Street in Lafayette, 877-856-2961. Ask for my buddy Blake Mesh, absolute the best car salesman in South Louisiana.
And look, you do a great job of repping them, but Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy with this new golf league, I don't know if you've seen it on ESPN, TGL, Genesis, one of the main sponsors, Sophie as well. They do a great job with that new concept. Check that out. But once again, Mike says, go give him an opportunity. You will not be disappointed. And it's worth the 50, 55, 60 miles to Lafayette.
Absolutely.
How long does it take to get to Lafayette?
Yeah, man, look, they deliver cars to you. They would have delivered the fiance's car to her directly in the driveway had we wanted to. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah, there you go. You know about it. All right, let's roll. Let's see. Yeah, we talked about it already. All right. Here we go. Chance Bad. When we talk to Kendall, I'm so ready for baseball. I think next week. I've already touched base with him. We're going to iron out the days. And so, yeah, there we go. There you go. Yeah, Sean Griggs was from Faraday. He was a good one.
Hey, ask Chance what his big excitement is. I don't know. You've been around it more, but Mike, that infield, man, they can't stop talking about Daniel Dickinson. You can have Milam and Braswell back on the left side at short and third, respectively. They may interchange there. Dickinson at second, Jared Jones at first. A ton of catchers, 3 or 4. Great outfield depth. Man, I'm excited to see what they look like.
Absolutely. When we get Coach Yeski on Friday and assorted players.
Josh Jordan as well, a recruiting coordinator.
Yep, looking forward to that.
He does a great job with the catchers as well.
Cheryl Phillips from the Parish, Mike and Buddy. Watch out for the freshman Carius Kern. I heard he's a beast of a run blocker, strong as an ox. I watched tape on him. Yeah, no, he's Buddy talks about him all the time as well.
He's going to start. I don't know when. I'm going to make the prediction. He will be starting. Now, it might take 5 games. It might take He's an early enrollee, which obviously Will Campbell had the benefit. Emory did not, if you remember. But he is what you are seeing with Notre Dame. He is a nasty, mean road grader that wants to mess you up. You don't have to feed him nails to play nasty. And that's what we've been talking about on this show for years. More physicality at the LOS line of scrimmage. You better see it this year if you want to go to the playoffs. And, oh, by the way, you said 9-3. Buddy, that's one game short of the playoffs. So I hope you're wrong on that one.
16-16 tied up. LSU shooting 64% from the field. Auburn shooting 30%. But Auburn is absolutely killing LSU on the boards, both rebounds and offensive rebounds. And that's why it's tied despite their poor shooting. So, all right, let's see. Here's a good one. Jerry Zimmerman, thoughts on the O-line starters? You mentioned it just now. Lord knows Nuss ain't fast on his feet. Well, he ain't slow, but I think sometimes he's a little bit too hesitant, and when he decides to run, he's a hair too late. But
I don't think Brad Davis would even know how this thing is going to mesh out. But look, Tyree Adams is going to get a shot at the left tackle. Mubinga, DJ Chester, Josh Thompson, Carius Kern, Bo Borlon are five guys that are all going to get look-sees at guard, whether it be left or right. Braylon Moore, to me, comes right in and starts at center. Now, Cohen Eccles could be the backup. He played a little bit in the bowl game.
Any chance they come out of spring thinking that they need a tackle in the portal?
Well, and that's Weston Davis has got to get into the damn weight room and get bigger and stronger like you. But to me, that is the question: who's going to be the right tackle? But look, it sounds crazy because everybody thought that was going to be the best line in the country and win the Joe Moore Award. It just did not happen for whatever reason. I think they're improved on the offensive line with the chemistry.
Kevin Winslow, good evening, Mike and Buddy. I'm glad to see BK is working hard to keep Mike happy. Yeah, he's doing it all to keep me happy with these hires and portal. Look, man, they deserve he and his staff. What did I tell y'all in November? I've said this 18 times now. You want to come at Christmas and talk about what a job Austin Thomas and them did, and boy, did they do it. The big shocker for me with all that was what was available, and LSU just cleaned house. All right, but it's a lot easier now because you let the agents know, hey, I don't know who's on your roster, but I sure do need these following positions. That's not tampering.
Well, no, look, everybody's doing it, and as we discussed,
so the kids get in the portal. That wouldn't happen in the numbers that we saw this year.
Well, but here's the key: you got to get these guys once again to get into the same gumbo pot and team. The acronym for team. Together, everyone accomplishes more. John Brady was talking about, man, I wish everybody's of the season, Mike. As you alluded to, there's going to be an incredible amount of national publicity. And some people are going to give the LSU thumbs down, and other people are going to be saying, this is a year, but BK has to know he's got to get them to the playoffs this year.
I'm glad you hit your fist on the table because it helped our internet connection. We were messing up there a little bit. You guys let me know how bad it was.
There you go.
But we're back now, and it looks like we're pretty strong. All right. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. Auburn leads 17-16 with 9:28 left in the first. Looks like fouls, timeouts, everything looks kind of even right now. But 3 turnovers in the last minute and a half for LSU.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it. That's why I quit watching, man. It's so frustrating. They are 320-something in turnovers and 320-something in shooting the 3-point percentage. So those two things got to get better.
Yeah.
Obviously.
All right. Let's hear from Mandis.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
There it is, buddy. Flavor says it all.
Every time you go to an LSU athletic event, don't forget we are the official smoked sausage of LSU athletics, where flavor and spice and Buddy Songy and Mike Scarborough really do say it all.
There you go. James Phillips asks, Mike, is Beth Torina going to get over the hump this year and make the College World Series?
You know, she had media day.
We posted it.
Okay. And you know, there's a love-hate with the with Baton Rouge and the LSU fan base. There are some people going like, damn it, it's about time to get back to OKC. And everybody knows Beth is excellent with pitchers. I want to see if this Heavener comes in here, the lefty pitcher, if he can help Sidney Berzon. But look.
If you finish 8th or 9th in the league one more time and you tell me about how you got a great recruiting class and how young they were, I'm going to lose it.
Well, no, I'm just saying the people are right there on that fence. And so really you got McMahon and Torina and Kelly who are all on that fence, and it would do their PR good if they'd have a big year.
BK, in all honesty, is going to be able to play the youth card at the end of next year too.
Sure. BK can't go anywhere. I'm just saying that from a fan popularity standpoint, but I'm hopeful that Coach Torina and them can get it together, and I think the pitcher's going to be there. The question is clutch hitting.
Cheryl Phillips, does BK finally hire a special teams coach? Well, that's your guy from Grambling.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the staff, but he's not on the staff. He's an analyst. But that's how he's going to do it the rest of the way.
Yeah, and still want a more official name with the coach. You got any ideas what direction he goes there?
I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. So we'll wait to see.
Jerry Zimmerman, does Trey Green need to focus on gaining weight and blocking or play hopes? Play hoops.
We had this discussion,
I think,
a month ago. It's impossible for him to gain weight playing basketball.
No,
it's impossible.
Run up and down a basketball court, you will not gain weight.
So once again, he's on a football scholarship. Look, you know me. I wanted to see him stay a big receiver last year, and of course, they did a good job of implementing him in the tight end and in the package with his routes. But I don't want to see Trey Green get to 260. Do you?
I want him to be an every down tight end.
Well, guess what? Bring in another guy to block. I've watched him block. Trust me.
And look who's back. Look who's back, buddy. We're back.
Yeah, we're back. Hey, by the way,
AT&T has been, we just reset it. Hopefully that works. We've been having some issues ever since the snowstorm with our fiber over here, but hopefully we're done. Yeah, it says Big Stack Kelly says LSU men's basketball needs a reboot. What is it, 30 to 20? Yeah. So sorry about that, everybody. Yeah. All right. What's going on here? DA, damn, LSU let this game get away from there early. And
it's all because of turnovers, man.
Big Stack Kelly, she's actually the one in the other room that fixed it. So there you go. And Hal said, man, I wanted to hear Buddy's blocking report. Well, he'll give you a little bit. He's throwing forearms over here earlier. We're good now. All right, let's see. Where are we at, Buddy?
Well, we were talking about the offensive line, and we talked about the players that are going to be involved here. Tyree Adams, I think, did a good job. He's going to have a chance to start at left tackle. A ton of people, our viewer was talking about Curtis Kern. What's going to happen with Bingo? What are you going to do with DJ Chester? Do you move him to guard from center? Obviously, Bo Bordelon's in the mix. Josh Thompson's in the mix, inside, outside. You think Thompson's a guard or a tackle on this line?
Guard.
Yeah. And so, look, a lot of new guys, and Weston Davis has got a chance if he gets in the weight room and gets bigger and stronger. But, look, it's going to be interesting. We'll be out there chronicling it from day one, who's running with the ones and twos. But that physicality on the defensive and offensive line, I got to ask you the question, man. This is a tough one. Since we don't have any viewers right now, everybody's watching basketball. We say hello to you. But we'll be back once again next Wednesday night at 6. Is Jake Flint, is this a big year for him as far as getting it done from a physicality standpoint? You saw Notre Dame in the bowl game and the championship game.
Well, they moved on from the nutrition guy.
Yeah, Dr. Frakes is gone. But Jake Flint, is he going to get these guys big, strong, and eating nails, and LSU pushing people around like BK likes to do with his football team?
Well, you remember I posed that question to BK. And
he's not going to answer.
But he brought up a bunch of statistics, and he's entirely happy with the strength and conditioning. And look, and sometimes, I remember going back. Tommy Moffitt was getting a lot of criticism his last several years.
Sure.
Who was the undersized defensive lineman I would always use as an example for LSU in those later years? I was always say, like, man, Moffitt is all he's going to do is get the best out of what you bring him. And that's what every strength coach is supposed to do.
Mekhi Wingo came over from Missouri and was undersized a little bit, but you're talking about Muskegon Barnes. Remember?
No. I'd have to go back and look at the depth chart, but there was an undersized interior defensive lineman that I always use an example of. You're recruiting undersized guys, and everybody wants to say the strength coach isn't getting it done. Well, a lot of it has to do with recruiting the Jims and Joes. Every player's athleticism and body is has maximum potential. And if you're not recruiting the highest level guys at different positions, you're going to have that problem. So yeah.
Definitely an area I'm going to monitor if LSU can get more physical as a football team. You did, in fact, ask the coach, and I don't think he wants to admit that they have not gotten as big and strong and physical as he wants them to be at this point.
Yep.
Why I asked about Jake Flint.
All right, let's see what I got now. Yeah, I need to pay some bills. We're running a little late, obviously. I want to talk to you about Bayou Traditions. What are we talking about? LSU's ability to get athletes in all the sports at LSU. You want your Tigers to compete for championships. It's all about the NIL game. So TigerBait's proud to announce our partnership with LSU's Bayou Traditions Collective to help raise awareness on how fans can help provide funds to NIL opportunities to selected LSU student athletes. All contributors support Bayou Traditions through the options below will receive 4 TAF points per $1,000 contributed. These points will count toward your lifetime and philanthropic point totals. Donating is as simple as visiting the link in our description. That's BayouTraditionsCollective.com, selecting the fund you would like to contribute to, and entering payment information. If you want to set up a recurring payment, simply select the pledge option, and they will follow you up to get you set up. Help the Tigers be great with the Bayou Traditions Collective. And as always, what's really important there, if your sweetheart sport is baseball, you put baseball in the memo of that check. Softball, gymnastics, whatever it might be, women's basketball, you put that in the memo, and that's where those NIL dollars will go.
And that's one of the things Coach Brady and I talked about today. And that's the catch-22. You need sugar daddies in basketball, but yet you sit here and LSU starts fine, and then all of a sudden they get stupid. They start dribbling like they're out of control, and the next thing you know, you got 4 or 5 turnovers in about 5 minutes, and now you're down 8 or 9 or 10. But that, to me, Mike, is one of the crossroads for Matt McMahon. If he doesn't get more NIL money in here, and whether he likes it or not, he's got to help raise that money. You think Kim Mulkey raises money? Absolutely, she does.
I can tell you right now, you're probably getting what you're paying for when it comes to LSU men's basketball, because I'm told LSU's 15th in the SEC in NIL dollars for men's basketball.
That's what I'm saying. So hard to, when you have 15th out of 16 on money, it's hard to expect them to do anything better than 10th or 11th. And this year they could be finishing.
Look, and then there's the crazy dollars when CNAC gets $3 million from Houston. I mean, those things are going to happen. But to be really in the ball game, to finish in the upper half or the upper third of the SEC, men's basketball is going to need more dollars. And so, but it's also one of these chicken or egg arguments for Matt McMahon, isn't it? If the fan base doesn't believe he's the guy, then they're not going to give money. He needs money to show that he's the guy.
Yeah, I know. It's problematic for LSU women, men's hoops. Women, I don't think you have any problem.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. Big Stack Kelly. No check writing for me. It gets electronically debited for me. A lot of people are doing what you do, Big Stack. And they had a really nice rush of NIL dollars in the last 60 to 90 days for sure.
Well, it's got to be a grassroots thing. I mean, and we talked about this 3 years ago before this was right on. Remember, I pointed to the Texas people in Houston. Dallas has said, if you want LSU to get these top players in Texas, you're going to have to dive into your pocketbook and donate. And it has come to fruition, and I think it's getting that way. Alabama, everybody's got to ask for money now. Everybody.
Yep.
Now, you mentioned CNAC. Tillman Fertitta, who's one of the richest men in the world with the restaurant business, gave that kid $3 million. And Jerry Jones is giving Arkansas whatever they want. Everybody's got sugar daddies, boosters, whatever you want to call them. So it kind of puts Coach McMahon behind the 8 ball. We'll see if it gets any better, or if we look at a coaching change in a couple of years.
LSU's losing 33-24 with just under 3 minutes left to play in the first half. And
how many turnovers they have? Yeah, let me guess, 8.
And where's that? 13 turnovers
already.
Yep.
Oh, geez. So you can't beat anybody of magnitude like the number 1 team. That's just. And I talked to Brady about it. It's mostly because the guards don't handle the rock, and they dribble, drive, and penetrate and pick up the dribble and then get caught. You get suspended in the air and you're throwing a stupid pass. And not only, JB said this before the game, if you're going to have a turnover, throw it out of bounds, because if you have a turnover and it's a steal, you're giving up 2 points on the other end.
Trey Green is in the game, says fire, and 13 turnovers so far. Matt McMahon needs to get with the program that Kim, BK, and Jay uses and get the money rolling in.
Well, we just talked about the problem with that.
Yep. Struby's, everybody. You got to go over one of the great steakhouses in South Louisiana, located at 107 3rd Street, downtown Baton Rouge. Struby's prides itself on providing a 5-star dining experience for a reasonable price. Locally owned, ownership right there in the building, and just putting a high level of pride, all natural ingredients, and using the finest steaks out there. USD prime black Angus, 100% certified Wagyu New York strip. And of course, they got everything beyond red meat as well. They've got great seafood. They got the dry aged pork chop, black truffle lobster pasta, redfish, and much more. Book your reservation online at strubies.com. Check out their menu, and when you get there, please tell them TigerBait sent you in. That cowboy ribeye on the screen right now looks fantastic, and I could go for one of those. Alumni Hall, everybody. Shop at Alumni Hall, Perkins Row. All the greatest LSU gear. All the new LSU baseball stuff just arrived. They've got all the stuff you want for the LSU baseball season. They've got the youth jerseys. And, of course, all the great Nike gear, Champion, Peter Millar, Southern Tide, and much more. And the big deal there is when you go in there, TigerBait, all one word, TigerBait, and you're going to get 10% off your purchase. And that also works at alumnihall.com/LSU. When you check out, type in TigerBait, you're going to get 10% off your entire order. And as always, you're going to get free shipping on all orders over $99.
Another turnover on a cross-court pass. I tell you what, it's got to be infuriating to be at the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. They opened up the game 6-0 to start, had a 14-9 lead, and then all of a sudden started turning it over, 14 turnovers and counting. And you're not going to beat anybody, much less Auburn, if you throw in stupid passes and continuing to dribble out of control. So,
DA says, Mike, now that the O-line has moved on, is it fair to say that Jaden Daniels hit a lot of the deficiencies they had and were highly overrated? I heard they had some embarrassing practice drills at the Senior Bowl.
I have not kept up with Senior Bowl.
I have not either.
Reports, so I have no idea if he's right or wrong on that. I don't know. Something was missing. We could talk to Will Campbell. Look, I'll never forget the first year when Will Campbell gave up a sack to Diverse or whoever at Florida State in that first game, and he said, "I know what happened, Coach. It'll never happen again." And he just never made the same mistake this year. And we love Will Campbell, but he had a lot of little bitty faux pas. Emory Jones got called for penalties. Obviously, you had a new center. Dellinger is a guy coming off a high ankle sprain, and Miles Frazier, of course. And so I think maybe, whether you're going to be objective or not, I think maybe they were a little overrated. Now, I don't know if they read the press clippings or what, but they did not perform at a high level that everyone expected last year.
Look, everybody wants to say, man, you had Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas, and the best you could do was 9-3. Man, I wonder what the record would have been without Jaden Daniels, right?
It'd have been terrible.
He absolutely hit a bunch of deficiencies, to say nothing about the absolutely horrible defense.
Yeah.
Chris Melder says Miles Frazier looked really good in one-on-ones.
Okay.
And
you know what's funny?
The word was they were not physical at all at Senior Bowl practice.
Well, and that gets back to what we were talking about. But a lot of those guys.
What do we talk about? People say, is LSU a finesse team?
Yeah.
I mean, they certainly look like one.
They've been a finesse team for 3 years.
Yeah.
So interesting to see if you can.
I mean, that's why I started kidding around. What are they doing in the weight room? Are they doing yoga or are they actually lifting weights?
By the way, worst case scenario, I was going to say earlier that you needed to win the last 2 minutes. LSU turning it over again another time, down 41-29, down by 12. So if you laid to 12.5, you got to feel good about your bet. One thing I will give McMahon and this team, they don't quit, but it's going to snow again in Baton Rouge in 2025 if they come back and win this game.
Yeah. All right. Frazier got blown up by Tejas, the defensive end.
Yeah, you're going to lose some drills and that kind of stuff. We'll see how they play in the game. But, I was one of the sappy, silly guys, and you said, no, you're all wrong here. But I thought Emory Jones, was going to come back for another year. I thought he could have been a big part of the leadership with Nuss and all the guys on the offense. And I didn't think he was quite ready. Is he going to make it in the pros? I think so. But this is a perfect example. He needs to get bigger and stronger. By the way, they listed him at the weigh-in 6'5.5", 6'6", 312. He was 325 a couple years ago. So something's going on with losing weight, gaining weight, strength. But I think it'll take Emory a couple years to get acclimated to the NFL. And I wish he'd come back for one final year. But we wish him the best of luck. And I remember when you met him and talked to him, when he was a senior. And he told Mike before the season in the summer, yeah, I know I didn't get there in early enrollees, but I'm going to be a starter on that team. And he was later on in the year.
All right, everybody. Dykes Electrical, the official electrical company of TigerBait.com. No matter how big or small your electrical needs may be, Dykes is wired for success. Need a brand new 10-story office building? They can wire that. 200,000 square foot warehouse you need built? They can wire that. Expanding your existing commercial building? They can wire that. Changing out a breaker, whole electrical panel, or just a receptacle in your home or office? They can wire that. Upgrading the old lighting in your home or office? They can wire that. Give them a call today at the number on your screen, 225-216-9180 for a free estimate on your project. Make sure to let them know TigerBait sent you in. I know Preston had some electrical issues ongoing that he couldn't ever get fixed. Electrical guys would come out and just make things even worse. He had Dykes come out last week, and everything's running like a top now. Superb, locally owned and operated Dykes Electrical. All right, let's go. Here we go. McMahon needs to get Shaq on the hotline and get that NIL. I bet you Shaq does a lot of stuff we don't even know about.
Well, it's interesting. They just played the Lady Gators, and of course, Shaq's daughter is on that team. And that's a tough call for Kim Mulkey. Do you bring in a legacy like Shaq and his daughter? But you followed it closely. What happened? I don't think they missed out on a great player. She is a big, but she didn't hurt LSU in that game. But I was just curious why you didn't think that those two meshed.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think Kim was going to take anybody that she didn't think could play for LSU.
Yeah.
That's my guess. I mean, I don't know.
So what we're trying to say here is that, look, Shaq loves LSU, and he's the greatest LSU ambassador because he's all global everywhere. But we still don't know how much money he donates to LSU every year, especially in an NIL fashion.
Here's the thing. Anywhere she goes, she's going to be Shaquille O'Neal's daughter. So I don't know, that's always going to be a part of the thing for her.
Once again, tomorrow night, I'm hoping to see Jada Richard. Look, you told me early on, I know you asked Coach Mulkey about Jada Richard about a month ago, and I think Chessa made a great point. Chessa played point guard, and Chessa knows Kim Mulkey. She is leery to give the hands and the ball to put in the hands of the freshman point guard. They've been up and down. Last year, Poa is not having a great year. Cheyenne Day Wilson has struggled to be consistent with turnovers. And, of course, they tried KG guard to see if she would fit that role, and she's more of a shooter than a passer and a facilitator. So I think that's one of the big things they've got to fix, and obviously got to get some bigs, giving her more production.
Absolutely.
But that'll be a packed house tomorrow night. So
don't forget, 7:30 tonight. I'm doing double duty. I'm going to have a little half-hour break between, but at 7:30, inside LSU women's basketball right here on this channel, LSU Tigers on TigerBait, our first LSU women's basketball dedicated show. And former LSU Tiger Emily Ward is going to be on the show with me tonight. And we might even have a special guest. We'll see about that. But we're going to talk LSU women's basketball. It's been talking about doing a dedicated LSU women's show for a couple of years now, and we're finally going to do it.
She's a lot easier on the eyes than I am, too.
Yeah. Luke Pizzuto, Mike's still a couple years away, but does Bradley end up at LSU? I think she does. I asked her about in the interview last night about coming down for some games, and and so we'll see how many she's coming down for. But look, she's an impressive young lady with a lot of great offers. South Carolina, UCLA, A&M, but look, there's a reason why Kim was down there up there last night in Faraday. With Oak Grove at Faraday, but 6'5" post players do not grow on trees, and she just turned 16 years old a few weeks ago.
And I like you interviewing the coach. He was talking about her shooting the three. She's doing a better job of using both hands when you go to the basket. I love Flaugier when he does the one-handed, whether it be the right hand or the left-handed, with the steal and the layup in the one hand. And so I'm talking women's hoops here because I'm a little disappointed. And this, you can knock your hand on the table so many times, but so frustrating. I was on a rant about a month ago. The most important thing that a coach has, Mike, is, you know what? He has playing time. And I'm sorry, some of those guards at this point, if they were turning it over in this game, and if they continue to turn it over, I'd have said, come here.
15 turnovers for LSU, and they've gotten 15 points off those turnovers.
Come here. Sit your ass by me. We're not going to have that crap anymore. I don't mean to cuss, but it's just pathetic. They cannot play under control. And most of them are stupid, losing the dribble or cross-court passes.
But LSU's out shooting them 43 to 40%, but those turnovers are a killer. We'll see if but that's look. You're down by 12 at half against the number one team, and we'll see if they can cut that. But that's they're the number one team in the country for a reason.
Yeah, and they finished strong. So look, hoping that they can get back. This next 4 or 5 minutes is going to be important to get back in this game.
Fire says, Mike, did you see the post that Livy Dunn made pointing out that how the gymnastic meets are not being sold out like LSU does? She was encouraging people to support gymnastics.
I have not heard about that. I thought they led the country in the attendance. I thought they had all these record-breaking season tickets. But you know what? It happened so fast. We've had snow. We've had all kinds of stuff going on.
They're not going to have an attendance problem.
I don't think so either. But maybe she's trying to get more people out there. Oh, by the way, did you mention this? ESPN doing a special segment tomorrow from 1 to 2, taped with Livy and then Flaugier and Anissa Morrow live, I think 1 to 2 on one of the ESPN channels.
James Fields, for the football team to reach its potential, Nuss has got to run the ball when necessary. That is college football in this era. I agree. He needs to run more, but be smart about it. Don't want him to get hurt, though. You have no chance of getting 10-2 if he gets hurt.
But the interesting thing I pointed out the last couple of days, the pros are doing it now. And I look.
It's such a weapon.
Well, I know, but they're getting a lot of this push where you got Jalen Hurts and he gets pushed into the end zone or for a first down. I was surprised Joe Brady fell into that thing. They went one too many times, but a very shaky. One guy comes in and spots it here. The other guy spots it here. They go with this spot. You don't get the first down. Kansas City's been the beneficiary of some controversial calls before, but all four of the quarterbacks that were in these games, Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, obviously Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, they all run the football and they all run it to the advantage. And so interesting, we'll ask that question this year. Now you've got Van Buren coming in from Mississippi State. He could be a Wildcat quarterback inside the red zone and run a little run pass option like you alluded to, saving Nuss, or do you consciously call 2 or 3 running plays for Nuss? That'll be one of the questions we ask this year.
Absolutely. Real quick, before we get out of here, how bad of a mess is how big of a disaster is this Saints hiring, trying to find a head coach?
Kellen Moore is the offensive coordinator for Philadelphia. Obviously, they interviewed him a second time. He's the odds-on favorite, but if he doesn't get it, they are going to.
But how many people have just said they're not interested because they know what a dumpster
Mike
fire is?
McCarthy, the guy that was at Dallas and Green Bay all those years, he declined. Joe Brady didn't have a second interview. Cliff Kingsbury didn't have a second interview. The Saints right now are a hot mess, and I'm hoping if they don't get Kellen Moore, they're going to settle for an offensive coordinator.
How does Loomis walk the grocery store or dine in a restaurant without people giving him the evil eye?
Oh, he has been a nightmare the last 10 years with the dead money.
Man. Todd Davis, Mike, any word on Elijah Haven? Also plays bat. Yeah, but he's a football player. Just signed an NIL deal, Matt Bowers. Yeah, and that has nothing to do with Matt Bowers being an Ole Miss guy. He's been involved with local LSU players. His dealerships are local. A lot of people were on social media saying some really things that they didn't know what they were talking about. So Can be very interesting. Obviously, because of Bryce Underwood and not getting him, and then having to go to the portal. Joe Sloan's emphasis and focus on the class of 2026 quarterback is a lot higher than it would have been had Underwood actually showed up. And so that's going to have some bearing on your 27 quarterback. So there's still some things to play out here.
Hey, if I asked you point blank, and there's three of them, Haven, Nuss's brother, and the other kid.
You got Ziegler at Benton, who's really good.
Yeah,
you got a kid at Evangelist.
But if I asked you right now,
who
would you think would be the guy? Because you're only going to get one of those three. You're not going to get two of them.
I don't know how they play that.
I don't either. That's why I asked you.
I don't know.
Interesting, but it's nice to have that kind of quality.
The easy answer
about an LSU
the
quarterback.
easy answer to not getting in any trouble, say the local kid, right?
Well, but once again, it's look, Nuss, you told me you saw Nuss's brother, and he's already taller than Garrett.
Yeah,
he's a lefty. So the good thing about this is that it's a problem, but it's a good problem to have. It's better than not having anybody to come. You got three that you got to figure out which is the right fit monetarily, chemistry-wise, and what you want to do going forward with your offense.
All right. That's it for this show. Back live at 7:30 inside LSU women's basketball. Check us out for that one. If you enjoyed this show, hit the like button. And again, 41-29, about to tip off in the second half. LSU hosting number 1 Auburn. And so there you go. Anything you want to say on the way out, bud?
See you next week, everybody. Normally we don't go against them, but we had a busy schedule, and we'll be back next week, 6 o'clock on Wednesday night. Enjoy your weekend, and let's see if the Tigers can win some of these games and meets gymnastics Friday night. 2 men's and 2 women's, all of that in the next 5 days out at the PMAC.
Yeah, apologies for our little internet outage there for about 5 minutes or so right in the middle of the show, but we got that resolved. All right, everybody, hit the like button if you enjoyed it, subscribe button to the channel, notification bell, you know the drill, and see you on the other side. Good night.